Hello again from Boost Your Personal Development. I want to tackle this particular video by finding out where you are on the happiness spectrum. You may feel that you are happy because you have all the external things, a partner, children, a lovely home, a great job, that should make you happy. Or you might be on the other end of the spectrum where you dislike what you're doing with your life. You dislike your life, so that makes you unhappy. But what this video is about is, do you really have joy in your life? I'm going to share with you 10 ways that you can introduce real, sheer joy in your life. And this isn't about what you have, it's about what you are and what you think and what you represent to yourself. So this is coming up on Boost Your Personal Development. Don't go away. Hello and welcome back to Boost Your Personal Development. Thanks for rejoining me. This channel, if you don't already know by now, is all about empowering you on your personal growth journey. Just a little bit of information about me. I'm a solicitor, a lawyer if you're in the States. I'm also a personal development researcher. I've also written books on personal development, and I'm also a personal development blogger. That's a bit about me. A bit about this video. I'm going to cut it up into 2 parts. I tend to have videos that are a little bit longer, and I like to cut them up into parts so that they're not too long. So this is part 1, and make sure you stay tuned for part 2 that is going to follow immediately after this video. And before I get into the 10 ways that you can introduce real joy and happiness in your life, I want to basically explain to you what real joy is all about. Joy can be described as a feeling of great happiness, exuberance, contentment, elation, and rapture and delight. However, some argue that happiness is an altogether more superficial feeling. We can feel happy about buying a new car. We can feel satisfied when you're given a gift or experience intense pleasure. But joy is altogether more intense and strikes at the foundation of your inner wellness. Is that your understanding of joy? Because for me, I thought joy and happiness were one and the same. But joy has that intensity of inner wellness, and that is a powerful thing to have. So let's get into the 10 things that you should know to have real joy and happiness in your life. So what is the very first thing that you must do to introduce true joy and happiness into your life? What that is appreciating what's in your power of control. Eckhart Tolle provides powerful insight in his book, The Power of Now, regarding what real joy and happiness is all about. He starts off by saying, pain is a result of resistance to things that you cannot change. Pain is a form of unhappiness. So it's easy to see how we could get frustrated and unhappy if we can't change our circumstances. And I want to tell you a story that makes this principle really stand out. A long time ago, there was a great Shah. He ordered to build a beautiful palace which had many beautiful things in it. Among those curiosities in the palace was a large hall where all the walls, the ceiling and the door and even the floor were made of mirror. The mirrors were so clear and smooth that the visitors didn't understand at once that there were mirrors in front of them. So accurately the mirrors would reflect the objects. Moreover, the walls of the hall were made in a way that created an extraordinary increased echo. Once a dog ran into the hall and froze in surprise in the middle of the hall. A whole pack of dogs surrounded it at all sides from above and below. Just in case, the dog bared his teeth, and all the reflections responded to it in the same way. Frightened, the dog frantically barked. The echo intimidated the bark and increased in many times. The dog barked even harder and the echo kept on going. The boy tossed from side to side, biting the air. His reflection also tossed around, gnashing his teeth. In the morning, the guard found the miserable dog lifeless and surrounded by a million reflections of lifeless dogs. There was nobody who would make any harm to the dog. The dog died by fighting with his own reflection. What is the moral of that story? It's that the world doesn't bring evil on its own. Everything that is happening around us is the reflection of our own thoughts, feelings, wishes and actions. The world is a big mirror. Now, maybe you don't believe exactly 100% what this story is saying, but I want to break it down to you in this context so that you can understand, in the context of 10 things you need to do to be happy. Now, the dog couldn't control the mirrors. He couldn't control the large hall with the mirrors all around, but he could control his reaction. He could have, for example, walked out of the hall. He could have stopped barking, but instead he continued to bark and gnash his teeth. And sometimes we do that in life. When we can't control our circumstances, we're still complaining and gnashing our teeth instead of walking away or trying to do something about it. And this simplistic yet appealing way of looking at your life will not only make you more happy, but it will free you from constantly blaming yourself and will also encourage you to take action to resolve your pain. Because we can only change that which we have power and influence to. If we don't have these two components, resisting it is pointless. And if you're looking for more inspiration, please check out my website, boostyourpersonaldevelopment.com. I've put a ton of content there designed to keep empowering you on your personal growth journey. A link is down below in the description, and back to the video. Now, what is the second thing that you must do to introduce real joy and happiness into your life? That is living in the moment. Eckhart Tolle said that life is just a series of present moments. As John Lennon also said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. And the truth is that we often forget about being happy when we are not living in the moment. How often do you forget that this moment was in fact the future? And that the future will never come. It is always the present. The fact is that once you come to terms with living every moment to the fullest, you're more likely to harness real joy. In fact, once you accept this, you can feel real joy even if you experience severe sadness, because joy means that you open yourself up to receive all the positives that life can bring. And it's a refusal to make the negatives, that which is happening to you that is bad, to override your joy. So, how can you live in the moment? Well, I'd like you to think back to when you were a child. Were you worried about anything? Were you worried about paying bills? Were you worried about your relationship with your partner, your children, or at work? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that children don't have their share of problems, but your overall feeling as a child would be, what am I going to do now? Am I going to play with Jessie or am I going to play with Ray? I think I'll play with Ray. And you go down to the swings and you're swinging on the swings and you say, wow, I'm really going high. I want to go higher. And you're swinging and you're swinging and you're feeling good about yourself. And you're saying, I feel great. I'm enjoying myself at this moment. When I get home, what am I going to have for dinner? And you're grateful just for being in the moment. And you should do that now, even as an adult. Live in the moment and be like a child. The third thing that you must do to introduce real joy and happiness into your life, the third thing, is to stop judging your thoughts. Eckhart Tolle says you can free yourself up from pain by constantly observing your mind and not judging your thoughts. Along with this, Tolle explains that we should remain conscious of our thoughts and not judge them. This, in his view, creates a level of peace and joy most of us merely dream of. what Stoll states here is that you and your thoughts are two distinct entities that are mingled together. And because they're so entangled, most people think they are one entity. He sees a distinction between the conscious and the subconscious mind, the ego mind. The conscious self is your real self that exists only when you are rooted in the present moment and not in a stream of thoughts. And the unconscious self, that is the self that continuously and constantly pulls your attention to your thoughts, and they are two separate entities. What does the Bible say about judging? Well, in Matthew 7 verses 1 to 5, it says, "Judge not that you are not judged, for with the judgment you pronounce you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how could you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, then when you can see clearly, to take the speck out of your brother's eye." The reality is, constantly judging yourself, judging others, judging the world is never going to make you happy. Focus on what you can control. You may not be able to control your thoughts, but you can control how you react to your thoughts. And I think that Stoll's approach, that your thoughts come from your subconscious mind and your conscious mind is a separate entity, makes sense in helping you to deal with not judging your thoughts, so that you can take positive action to bring joy into your life. The fourth thing that you must do to introduce real joy and happiness into your life is to focus on being the best person that you can be. A big part of joy is graduating to be the best version of yourself. Even if things are going really bad, you can still put out the best. And verywellmind.com gives some powerful ways that you can actually put out your best, even at bad times. The first thing they say to do is to let go of anger. And I'm going to come back to how you can let go of anger and pain a bit later on. Leverage your strengths. So what you're good at, focus on that. And they say you should use the stages of change model. What does that mean? You should ask yourself, if you had a magic wand, what would you like to see change in the future? Ignoring the idea of how you'll get there, vividly imagine your ideal life and what would be included in it. Put pen to paper, be specific. What would you like to be included in your life? It's okay if you want something that you seemingly have no control over, such as a mate who is perfect for you. Very well mind say you should also focus on nutrition to be the best person you could be, getting enough sleep, getting enough downtime for yourself. That means kicking back and just spending time to be by yourself. Create good social connections. Good friends can help you to process negative emotions. And being the best version of yourself means that you may not be able to control your circumstances, but you can control how well you take care of yourself. In this way, you can control your stress levels, and it will enable you to deal with challenges. So being the best person you can be starts with taking care of yourself. What is the fifth thing that you can do to introduce the power of joy and true happiness into your life? That is thinking about other people. What do other people want? Not just yourself, but other people. Did you know that acts of kindness can actually make you live longer? Dr. David Hamilton says, among other things, kindness supports the immune system, and research shows that kindness increases the antibodies, which increases your immune system. As a Christian, thinking of others means joy is born out of love. And this is made evident in Galatians 5, verses 22 to 23. It states, "But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." To Christians, the fruits of the Spirit signifies liberation because Jesus died and was resurrected, and his presence as a Holy Spirit allows him to live in us. Christians experience the fruits of the Spirit. Joy is one of those fruits. So joy means that you lose sight of your own selfish needs and you feel inner personal satisfaction by giving to others. And your self-denial is worth it for the greater good, because joy brings you closer and deeper to a profound sense of who you are, because, like love, it is much bigger than ourselves. Hi friends, that's the end of part 1 of this video. 10 things you must do to be happy. Please watch part 2 of the video coming right up after this one. And remember, if you got any value out of this video, please remember to subscribe by smashing that subscribe button. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.